So, we are back from holiday, what a time it was, but we are back on the grind now, and today is all about Zerbi's 4231/433 perfect FM24 tactics. Again, do keep the comments coming on any future managers you want to see, because I'm now back grafting, we're getting through all the requests, and be sure to leave a like on this video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. But let's get into the testing phase. We've got 4 teams. First up is going to be Brighton. His current team done a great job of them so far since he's been at the club in real life, and we enjoyed a fantastic season, actually winning 2 very decent trophies as well. Now, we didn't get top 4, we were a little bit out of that race, but do you know what? It really doesn't matter, because not only did we get the Champions League through the Europa League, but we obviously also come away with a European trophy and the Carabao Cup against West Ham. So more than happy with this season. Again, I sign absolutely 0 players when testing these tactics, so a few more signings, maybe I could have got top 4 as well. You never know, you guys can trial that out though. But do you know what? Very happy with this. Evan Ferguson, 30 goals, he always does well for me in this game. Jean-Paul Van Hecke, or Heck, coming in with 7.11, and actually Lana and Matoma, joint assisters, picking up 12. So again, very good to see in that, seeing a nice variety of assisters and also goal scorers coming in, which I'm a big fan of. 71 goals scored in the league. Again, potentially, maybe we could have gone a little bit more, but I didn't want to overcomplicate this tactic and go away from the Zerbi sort of style by simply forcing the attack too much. And goals conceded, very, very good as well. Actually picking up only 36 conceded, ranking the 3rd best. And you got to imagine, there's a lot of very good teams in this league when it comes to the defensive side of the game. Now, going over to the team stats, we are going to look in a few of them, and we're not going to feature in most of them, but we are going to go over some of the important ones, see where we ranked, etc, etc. So, goals, 6th place, I'll take that, because if you look at all the teams above us, I mean, Aston Villa clearly had a miracle season. Possession-wise, quite good as well, 58% of the ball, so I can't really complain there. If we look above us, Man City are obviously always going to be rank 1. Manchester United is a bit of a surprise, I will be honest, but overall, a pretty decent season. Obviously, without the Europa League and obviously the English Cup, it wouldn't have been as much to write home about, but still, very, very impressed with that. And of course, going over to the data hub, we are going to be looking at 1.87 goals per game, 0.95 conceded, and shots per game coming in at 12.47. Now, I will say, I should have said at the start what one I was using to test with, because obviously we've got a 4-2-3-1 and a 4-3-3 today. This was the 4-2-3-1, just to clarify that. But these stats, happy, we'll take it. Now over to Leicester. I wanted to throw in a random team alongside of the other teams he's managed, and I never really test with Leicester. Obviously, they are a very, very good team in the Championship, and I used the 4-3-3. To clarify that, I'm going to make it very clear, and we enjoyed a fantastic season, nearly an invincible season actually. The one loss is going to be against Middlesbrough of all teams, and we actually win 36 and draw the other 9. Iheanacho, a Premier League standard striker, we all know that. 32 goals from him. We've got Mavidi coming in with a 7.42, and Kieran Drewsbury-Hall picking up 17 assists in the season. Absolutely remarkable stuff from him. 115 goals scored as well, so very good when it comes to the goal scoring side of things, and also defensively, only 33 conceded, so a very, very good season. And going over to the team stats, we are going to feature in a few of them, actually quite a fair few. Most points per game at 2.54, most goals at 115, which is quite a fair few more than Norwich, who were close, kind of close, in 2nd place. The most shots for at 782, the fewest shots against at 284. Possession-wise, we absolutely blitzed everyone with 61% of the ball, and the fewest conceded as well, coming in at 33. And what is going to look even more beautiful is going to be the data hub. 2.5 goals a game, absolutely remarkable. Only 0.72 conceded per game, a mixture of perfect defending and also having a lot of the ball at our feet. 78% tackle win ratio, an 89% pass completion, and bang on 17 shots per game. It's a season to remember. You're then going to take a 10th place predicted team, Sassuolo, and actually get Champions League football inside of one season with 0 signings. So again, very, very remarkable set of stats here, finishing 7 places above the prediction. And with this one, again, I did use the 4-3-3, just to clarify that. So it does work really well with the sort of mid-table to underdog teams, which is very, very good. We do love to see that. Not the best display in the Italian Cup, being honest, not going to hide that. But overall, still absolutely buzzing with this stat, because obviously it's Champions League football. Absolute miracle. It's going to be Andrea Piemonte coming in with 23 goals, and Daniel Balocca with a 7.14 highest average rating, and it is going to be Domaseo Berardi with 11 assists. Now, going over to the stats, obviously we're not going to be too dominant. There are a lot better teams in this division that are going to feature above us, being with the goals scored. So we're going to get the 4th best with goals scored, which I will take, considering you got Milan, Napoli, Roma, Inter. I suppose Roma are known for their goal scoring, but there are a lot of good teams in this division that can outscore us, and defensively, I'm going to take that as well. So overall, it might not be the most prettiest in terms of the stats, but to grind a team from 10th to 3rd speaks a lot about how good this tactic is. Now, data hub wise, it is going to be a lot more closer than probably what the other ones are going to be, because it's by far the most challenging team we're going to have today. 1.71 goals per game, 1.13 conceded. So the games are going to be very, very close. You're going to see a lot of 1-0s, 2-1s, etc, etc. And this might be where you want to switch to the defensive variant, which I'm going to show later on in the video, because probably would be a more sensible option to go in a little bit more calmer against some of the bigger teams, especially the sort of top 6 teams. But nevertheless, still we're scoring more than we're conceding, which is a must in football. 89% pass completion, which is really nice to see that not dropping below that 89, even with a team like this. So it clearly does work, even with a standard like this. Of course, the one real powerhouse of the video, that is going to be Shakhtar, obviously over in the Ukrainian division, where we win the Premier League and also the Ukrainian Cup, and the stats were absolutely remarkable. I mean, 123 goals, obviously the best in the league, and only 14 goals conceded, and also an invincible season. 1 draw, which is a little bit gutting. That is going to be against Chronomerits, I believe so you say that, and a 2-2 away draw, which if we would have just got that out, that could have been 100% win rate. It could have been the perfect season, but nevertheless, an invincible season, only 1 draw getting in the way. Lasina Traore with 39 goals, and obviously it is going to be Kashchuk coming in with 21 assists. Now, if we go over to the team stats, it's going to look very, very dominant, and when I say dominant, 67% of the ball. 67. Absolutely remarkable. Fewest conceded coming in at 14. The most clean sheets at 20. Again, a very good stat line. Most shots for and the fewest shots against. The most goals by almost double. I mean, we are absolutely cooking this league. Incredible scenes. I know we are the best team in the league by a decent amount, but still, to see a tactic at its best always surprises me when it does this good. I mean, very rarely do you have that much possession and also the amount of goals we scored. So, very good set of stats, and I'm sure this is going to back it up. Yeah, absolutely remarkable. 4.1 goals per game, only 0.47 conceded. Now, this probably isn't the most defensive tactic I've made, but you're always going to have a low conceded per game when you're playing as a top team with this tactic, because it holds so much of the ball. You got to think, we're not far off 70% of the ball with this team. It's absolutely nuts. I am absolutely thrilled. What a season. Of course, we had some massive games with this Brighton team, and the first one is going to be that Carabao Cup final and a 3-2-1 win. You can see there, great overlap and play. Got to drive it back in the middle, and it's very interesting, the first goal. Evan Ferguson doing Evan Ferguson things, though, being there when it matters. Billy Gilmore puts us 2-0 up, which means we nearly had a late bottle coming on. It is going to be Ward-Prowse on the ball, into Creswell, into Souček, who's going to drive, ball over the top. It's fantastic play from this West Ham team. So, to be fair to him, it was a very, very good goal. I'm not going to slate it, but we do come back and score another one here with Billy Gilmore out on the left-hand side, who just takes on everyone, into the Lana, into the top left. But again, West Ham didn't bail off, and Ward-Prowse goes, great set piece, into Johnson, but luckily we held on. 1 trophy. For trophy number 2, the Europa League final in a 2-1 win over Roma. James Milner tucks away a penalty inside of 12 minutes. A very good start to the game. Actually, it's not a bad start again. In the 67th minute, March into Esteban into the right-hand corner. Absolutely incredible. And we are going to see now, they do get a goal very late into the game. A ball in, and again, it's very scrappy from a set piece. A typical Mourinho goal. But looking at these stats right now, it was quite a fair final in terms of anyone probably did deserve to win it, to be honest. Wouldn't have been the biggest surprise to go into extra time, but to beat a team like this, although I say that, obviously Renato Sanchez here did get sent off in the 49th minute. So let's have a little look at that actually, shall we? Was it a red card? Let's do a Josh Daly VAR check. What did he do? What's going on here then? Is he going to come absolutely sliding in? What is going to happen here? Dunk, here he comes. I think that's him on the ball now, or about to be on the ball. He's going to... No. This is going to be a very, very long highlight, but I'm going to see this. It's the first VAR check on this channel. Answer, yeah, get him off the field. Deserved. Now, of course, for your favourite part of the video, that is going to be the tactical breakdown. If you're enjoying so far, be sure to leave a like and also subscribe to the channel. And today's topic, what is your favourite holiday destination? Leave a comment, keep them coming. We love to see that. And if you guys are interested, you can come over and join the Patreon, where you're going to get over 9 perks, and I'm currently going to be posting a giveaway in the next couple of days. So the perfect time to come over. You also get access to all 3 of these tactics in one simple download. You get early tactic and video release. You get priority in the tactic and rebuild requests. You get one-on-one tactical help, obviously access to the giveaways, and so much more. Check it out, the link is going to be in the description. But let's go over and talk about the player roles then. So the goalkeeper is simply going to be a sweeper keeper on support. Nice and simple. I didn't really feel the need to make any sort of custom requests to this one. The inverted wingback is going to remain as the default version, or the previous one I released, which is simply going to be on tackle harder. Not much more you can really do in this area without diverting away from the Zerbi way. A ball playing defender on the right is going to be on defend, simply on dribble less, and next to him is going to be a default ball playing defender. So nice and simple so far. The wingback on the left is going to be on support, on sit narrower. Now for some reason you want to rock with two inverted wingbacks, you can do the same, but this almost replicates that as well. So if you can, I would stick to this, but for by some reason you want to switch it up, feel free to do so. In the middle is going to be a deep lying playmaker coming in on support, simply on the default instructions. And then I was looking around, I was like, what sort of position, what player role represents what I'm trying to replicate in this system? And I've opted for a Roman playmaker. Now, this can be argued potentially with, you know, pushing these up and using a central midfield player, for example, but I sort of favoured the Roman playmaker on support, on dribble less, and also tackle harder. And these two, I rarely use this as a combo, but it worked really, really well. On the right-hand side is going to be the Ansu Fati role, on support, on cross aim centre, and also tackle harder. In the middle is going to be a default shadow striker. Again, I don't really need anything else on him because he's already got 4 default instructions which make him the perfect role in this team. And on the left hand side is the Matoma, the cross aim centre, and also tackle harder. And to finish it off, a default Evan Ferguson, who was a bit of a bagsman in this save. He really was. Then the team instructions, all based off a positive clean slate. A positive clean slate, to clarify that. Let's go over to the attack and width, where we are going to opt to have it on fairly wide. We're going to pass the ball into space. Don't worry about this. It does not mean you're not going to have loads of possession. We still had very good stat lines. Now, if you are a bit of a possession madhead, you love to have the ball, you could take this off and you could easily get that Shakhtar team to 70%. I genuinely believe that if you get rid of this instruction. But also you've got to be a little bit cautious, because without this you do not, you're not as direct in some areas where the players are making good runs. So in my opinion, you sacrifice a very small amount of possession for a lot more chance of scoring some goals. So it's a must in my opinion. Overlap left, we're going to play out from the back as well, the Zerbi way. We're going to go over shorter passing directness matched with a slightly higher tempo. A couple more things to talk over. That is going to be the mixed crosses when it comes to the final third. And to finish it off, the cherry on top, be more expressive. Transition is going to be nice and simple, not too much to copy. We're going to play to anybody across the back line because none of them are going to be too progressed up the field, so a very safe option. We've got a counter when the ball has been won. Again, anyone that is possession mad, you could untick this and just focus on more controlling the game. And lastly, counter press. And out of possession, don't worry, it looks a lot different from this. We are going to stick with that standard line. The high pressing line of engagement is going to come in. We're going to go with more often when it comes to the trigger press. We're going to prevent short goalkeeper distribution because we've got 3 players up there. We may as well do it. And lastly, get stuck in. Again, if you are picking up too many bookends, you can remove that, but a little bit of the intensity will be sacrificed. Just looking through these Leicester games though, we were absolutely cooking teams in the Championship, as expected with a team like this, but we had so many games that were 5-0, 6-0, absolutely loads. And what a start that is, by the way. 4 minutes in, just under 4 minutes, Iheanacho gets a goal. A lot of focus is going to come down this left-hand side because obviously the overlap option is going to be selected, so very favourable to have a good left-hand side of a team sorted out, just to clarify that. A ball played through the middle into Mavidi, back across into Yunus, who gets another goal, 2-0 up inside of 25 minutes. James Justin driving in from the left-hand side now. He's going to go back outside. A ball in the box, a little bit lucky, and we're seeing a lot of deflections in this video, aren't we? A lot of deflections coming in, but we're not going to complain. A goal is a goal. Again, a left-hand side of goal is going to come in. That is beautiful. Great footwork, great finish, past Phillips, nothing he can do. Iheanacho sticks away a penalty. Feel sorry for this keeper, by the way, conceded 5 in the first half. And one last goal, it's big Connor Cody. Now, as promised, it is going to be the Zerbi 4-3-3. Now, this tactic is going to be somewhat similar, and that is purely because we don't want to go too far away from the 4-2-3-1 in terms of the player roles, because this is designed to switch in the game or to change it up every so often throughout the season when the AI gets used to your tactics. So, that is going to be somewhat similar, and we're going to start things off in reverse. We're going to go from attack to goalkeeper. So the advanced forward is going to remain exactly the same. On the left is going to be an inside forward on cross aim centre and tackle harder on support, and on the right hand side the winger is going to be on attack, on cross aim centre, and also tackle harder. Now we've got quite an attacker midfield, so I am going to talk about one change you can make if you are playing as a very low down team, and that would be to sacrifice the deep lying playmaker with a DM. But to kick things off is going to be the central midfield player on attack, on pass it shorter and move into channels, a Roman playmaker on support, simply on tackle harder, and to finish it off in this system is the deep lying playmaker simply on the default. Now, I'm not going to waste your time today. The only change across the back line compared to the 4-2-3-1 is going to be the wing back on the left, who is now going to be on dribble more alongside of the default, sit narrower, and also get further forward. So it's very similar for a reason, because we don't want to go too far away from what the players are used to in the 4-2-3-1. Team instruction wise, there are going to be a few changes. By the way, again, clean slate, positive style, fairly wide when it comes to the attack and width, so the nice middle option, not one up on this occasion. Pass into space, overlap left, play out from the back. These two remain exactly the same, so shorter and slightly higher. The only change is going to be dribble less, because we actually had a little bit more possession playing in this 4-3-3 with this instruction. In transition, we are going to look at counter press, counter, distribute to anyone across the back line while taking short goal kicks. And lastly, it's going to almost be a repetition of the 4-2-3-1, the standard line, the high press line engagement, the more often, prevent short goalkeeper distribution, and also get stuck in. Again, I have seen a couple of comments about bookends. Now, if you are getting too many bookends, you can take this off. But for me, honestly, I love the intensity, but you need to make sure your players got good concentration, good determination, the whole lot. Just make sure they're not nut jobs, basically, is what I'm trying to say, because if you've got players with poor decision making, you are going to get a fair few bookends. Lastly, I've gone sort of out the way a little bit just to sort of make a custom tactic for you guys, which is still sort of a Zerbi based football, but is going to be a much more defensive version for you guys that are really playing as an underdog team, like a Luton, like a Nottingham Forest, for example, or playing really low down in the English leagues where maybe you want to have a little bit less of an intense game style. So the goalkeeper is going to remain on the same, the inverted wingback the same, the ball playing defenders the same, and also the wingback the same. And that is because you can play this way of football across the back line with any team in the game. It's very risk-free. There's not too much you're asking for on the players, so we didn't really need to change anything. We do change the midfield, though. We actually bring in a DM on the right, on support, on tackle harder, and a deep line playmaker comes in on the left, again, simply on support. The left-hand side is going to be an inside forward on support, on pass it shorter, and also tackle harder. And on the right-hand side is going to be a winger on support, on pass it shorter, and also tackle harder. The shadow striker gets axed from the team as an attacker midfield player comes in on take more risks, so it's going to be a bit of a baller, creating a lot of chances. And lastly, the advanced forward, one additional instruction of pass it shorter, and that is simply to get this free, linking up really quickly, short sweet passes, zip-zap football, as I like to call it. Team instructions, again, a clean slate on the balanced on this occasion, so a big change from positive to balanced, a standard attacking width. We're going to pass into space and simply playing out from the back, so no overlap left on this occasion, and we've gone with a much more possession-orientated, lower tempo sort of style, which is going to be a lot more easier for a low-down team to manage the fitness levels, etc, etc. So much shorter, slightly lower, and dribble less. The ultimate possession way of football. Transition, we're simply going to have counter press and distribute to anyone across the back line, being the fullbacks and the centre-backs. Lastly, the standard defensive line, the high press line of engagement, standard on the trigger press, prevent short goalkeeper distribution, and also get stuck in. So a very much lower tempo way of playing football, which might not score as many goals, but is going to have more possession, and again, a lot more friendly when it comes to saving your players' fitness. And that is going to give you guys 3 variants of the Zerbi 4-2-3-1/4-3-3, a much requested video. It dominated the vote poll. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed the first video back. You know, I had a great time away, but I have missed being active on the channel and, you know, responding to all the comments. But much love. It means the absolute world. And I promise I'm going to get working on them requests from today. So it's going to be a busy time, but I'll get them done. Hope you guys have enjoyed today's video. Be sure to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and more importantly, guys, enjoy the rest of your day. I'll see you in the next one. And if you guys did enjoy today's video, here are going to be a couple more videos I'm sure you're going to love. Down here, you're going to see my previous video, and here is going to be a video I personally recommend for you guys to check out. Trust me, you're going to love it.